Hello, and welcome to episode 421. It doesn't matter. None of it matters, does it really? And we're talking about... what are we talking about? I don't know. It's up to you, isn't it? What do you want it to be about? Let it be about Refugee. It's not going to get any views, is it? But it doesn't matter, because that's what we're here for. I'm glad I'm staying irrelevant. That's going to be the new t-shirt slogan. Part of Esoteric / Cherry Red's reissue campaign, Refugee have got themselves a little clamshell boxy type thing. How cool is that? Look, it's a little clamshell box. For it contains 3 CDs. Ooh, 3 CDs. They're spoiling us. What is Refugee? That is a good question. Would you call them a super group? I don't know. It's a bit of a weird one. I suppose could call it a super group. Isn't it a super group when it's a group formed of other super groups? However, one of the members of this technically wasn't from another group, but went on to be in another. It's complicated. Anyway. After the dissolution of Jackson Heights, that's Lee Jackson's band. Oh, I better tell you Lee Jackson is, isn't I? Lee Jackson is the bassist and vocalist for The Nice. Do you remember them? And he had a band called Jackson Heights and had a couple of albums, 3 albums, I think it was, 4 albums. One of them was on Charisma, and then the others weren't. That didn't do very well. And so he formed Refugee with Brian Davison, the drummer from The Nice. And the third ingredient is a young guy called Patrick Moraz. Yeah, him, that guy, the Swiss keyboard maestro himself. But this was done before he joined Yes. How curious is that? They lasted the years 73, 74, and they had the one album, Refugee. And it's a band I've been meaning to check out for a while, but when this came on, I thought, we're there, we're going to check them out. It's a bit like that Consequences thing. I think Esoteric are reading my mind, and they're looking at all the albums that I've been thinking about for years, just never got around to, and reissuing them for me. Thanks, Esoteric. Be good if you sent me 3 copies instead, but hey, what can you do about it? I'm on the arsehole end of the review spectrum, so I don't count. I have little or no influence. Don't forget, if you need to buy this, you can click on the Amazon link in my description, and I'll get a micro penny for everything you buy. So spend a load, and I'll benefit from it. But that's got us off the topic of Refugee. Oh, it's a curious album. It really is. Wow. Listening to it, it's a real shame, because they kind of missed the boat. They missed the boat somewhat. Opens, it veers between instrumentals and songs, vocal songs, with Lee Jackson being the vocalist. Papillon is the opening track. It's instrumental. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. But you keep getting feeling. I've heard this sounds like something else. This sounds like that band, this band, the other band. It's ELP. All those kind of influences are there. And it's like, okay, this is interesting. Someday is a song, and it's one of those songs you've got to like. Lee Jackson's voice. Lee Jackson has a very distinctive voice, so I can understand why some people don't like it. To me, I don't mind. He's got character. That's euphemism for not being very good. I'm mean, but no, I don't mind. His voice again. From The Nice, I think he's a prog pioneer. But someday, it's a bit strangled. It's like a bit, but Yeah, and then we have the first of two big pieces, Grand Canyon, and it's about what it is, the Grand Canyon. It's vistas and and things. Does it remind you of the Grand Canyon? Not particularly, but you go along for the ride. Gatecrasher is the next one, which is it's all right, but rhythmically is I suppose it's the band's theme tune, because it's based on the way it's named after. Sorry, the way that Patrick Moraz says the word rhythmically, and so that's. I know, but it's a jolly up-tempo instrumental, and again, it sounds a lot of things. Again, I forgot to say with the Sunday track, it sounds like The Who. It sounds like something off of Who's Next in some of the vocal phrasing and some of the key changes, like and then the final track on the album is called Credo, and it's divided into 8 movements. 8 movements. That's a lot of movement, isn't it? And it's all right. It disappears up its own fundament. It's all right. But yeah, as a whole album, it's a real curiosity. I enjoyed it because I'm again a big fan of the Nice, and if you imagine if the Nice had continued, maybe this is where they would have headed to. It's one of those fantasy albums, but it was released in '74, so they're coming at the tail end of all this progressive stuff. If this were out in, I don't know, 71, 72, I think they'd have been lauded and they'd have made a much better name for themselves, or bigger name for themselves. But instead they were kind of on the tail end of the prog phenomena. That's not saying it's a bad album. It's an album that I think is probably lacks focus. I don't know, I think someone's trying to beat down the door. I think it might have been Lee Jackson himself there trying to get to me. I wonder what that was about. But yeah, you do feel that it loses focus in places. I mean, it's full of character. It's got a lot of character. It's got a lot of character in it, But I think again, with the hands of a better producer, they might have formulated a clearer vision for the band. But it ends up sounding derivative, and all these people are talented, and it's not subtle. It's not subtle in the least. It is probably one of the least subtle albums I've heard. And the drumming, Brian Davison's drumming, is absolutely stonking. He really pounds again, sounds a bit like Keith Moon in places. He's really banging away. So yeah, I thought it was an interesting listen. But then we've got 2 CDs with that, and these comprise of live material, because that's what Esoteric does. You get the album. You might get a bonus track. There are no bonus tracks here, but here we've got some live albums. The first one up is a whole CD dedicated to the Radio 1 in concert taken from the 9th of May 1974. And you get 3 tracks, rhythmically, Sunday and the Grand Canyon suite. And it's not that long. It's about, I think it's not like a 50-minute album or anything. It's quite a short CD. Is it about half an hour long? I don't know. I'd have to. Oh, wait a minute. iTunes will tell me because I ripped it. You know me. You know what I'm like. Let's have a look. You talk amongst yourselves while I have a look. How long is it? It is 25. Yeah, just coming up to 30 minutes long, which is. And it sounds really good because it's BBC recording. The third CD is the band playing the 16th of June 1974 live at Newcastle City Hall. You get more of a full gig there, and you really get to hear what the band were like live. Pretty good live band. They also do Diamond Hard, Blue Apples of the Moon, a nice track. So that's good, but the sound quality is a little bit, dubious. It's a little bit crackly, and it's not quite 1970s bootleg, but it's not as good as the BBC recording, but it gives you a flavour of what it was like. It gives you a flavour of the time. So for your $17.99, because I think that's the price. Remember, there'll be an Amazon link. You get 2.5 hours of music for your money, and I think that's pretty good value. There's also a little booklet. Let's show you. So there's the thing, and look, you get a little booklet, which is nice. This is like a really bad unboxing. I'm doing anti-unboxings now, and there's an essay which goes on, and there's some nice pictures for you to look at. You get pictures and there's words and stuff. Cool, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, someone's rattling at the door again. And yeah, so that's good. It's written by Martin Hansen, and he wrote the biography of the Nice. So he's a good one. Not like some of those other people I get to write these things. And there's your 3 CDs. Look, how cool is that? Yeah, there you go. So that's what you get in the box. Again, if you haven't got this record, it's probably the ultimate way to have it. But I thought it was really cool. In terms of a rating, I'm going to have to give 2 ratings on it. I'm going to have to give you a rating for Refugee, the album, and then Refugee, the box set. The album itself, I think, again, if you're interested in Patrick Moraz's career and where he came from and how he ended up in Yes, it's an interesting chapter, and also an interesting chapter of the Nice story, because I always thought that the Nice got a bad deal with Keith Emerson, dropping them and running off, to form another group. I always thought they had a bit of a bad run of it, especially as they were, like I say, the prog granddaddies. People seem to forget about them, and I'm here to remind everyone, the Nice, remember them. So it's nice to see these 2 stories, intersect, because again, I think both of them, those guys and Mraz ended up going with Yes, and then he got treated both by Yes and the Moody Blues. It's an interesting album to pick up on. It's not great. It's interesting, but it's not a great album. But they're great players, But again, probably needed a better producer. Probably needed somebody who could guide them. So I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give it 3 Rip Mickleys out of 5. That's 3 Rip Mickleys out of 5. Just because I feel generous. I feel like they're progs also rans. I think they are deserving of more of our time and attention, because they're good players, and that's it. But as a box set, it has to score. Oh, let me see. 5. No. That's too generous. 4 Papillons out of 5. That's 4 Papillons out of 5. 1 knocked off purely for the dubious sound quality of the 3rd live disc in the set. It was a little bit. But what can you do? It was the 70s. So there you go. Hopefully that's piqued your interest and make you want to check them out. And that's it. So my name's been Darren. I've been talking about Refugee, their one and only album, remastered and expanded by Esoteric. Good fun, and I keep up the series. Though I'm not sure about these clamshells. They look so chunky on the shelf, don't they? And that's it. So thank you for watching. There's only one more thing left to say. Goodness me, you know what that is, and that is prog on.